the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Friday edition of the Auburn Blitz Podcast. We're glad that you've joined us whenever and wherever it is that you tune us in here on the Auburn Blitz and make Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. It is Brett and Faith, as always, on a Friday. Glad everybody's joining us. We did tape this last night, but it is a happy Friday. It's always happy on Friday, right, Faith?
Always. You can't have a frown on your face if it's Friday.
Cannot frown on a Friday. Anti-frowning Friday. That's what we're going to call it. Lots that we're going to dive into. 7-on-7. You and I were at the 7-on-7 yesterday. They've got another round of 7-on-7 today. Some really big high schools in town today. They'll be over at the football complex. We'll run down a list of those teams. We'll give our take on what we saw yesterday. A little golf action with Jackson Koiven in the U.S. Open. We'll talk about that. Some basketball news. Find out who Auburn is going to play in the SEC-ACC Challenge, and it will be at home this time. You know, Auburn went to Duke last year, and Auburn will have an opponent come in this year, and we'll talk about that and official visitors coming in today. Recap of the ones that were here this week, Tuesday through Thursday, some info on them. We found out some pretty interesting info on some guys while we were at the complex yesterday. So we'll dive into all of that, and we'll try to cram it all into about 30, 35 minutes here this morning. You can comment. We aren't being rude, as we always give a disclaimer. We're just not here live as you're watching. We taped it. So we're glad that you join us wherever it is and whenever it is that you're able to tune us in. Faith, let's start, as we always do, with some of our outstanding partners.
Cincy Green. For air that's cool and clean, call on Cincy Green. They are the carrier experts for the state of Alabama and a proud supporter of the Auburn Blitz Podcast and Auburn Athletics. With how hot it's getting, the AC units are going to be up and running, which causes your units just to be going, and at some point they stop. And Cincy Green's going to save you thousands of dollars of the installation process of a carrier unit, and it's always awesome saving money.
Who doesn't like to save money, especially in this world where everything's like 10 times more expensive? Scout Program Management, talking about utilizing your money to the fullest extent. Call on Scout Program Management. If you're building a new school or renovating a school or some type of project that requires a lot of money, Scout Program Management will make sure that you spend every dime to the T and hold people accountable. And they've got all types of projects going on throughout the Southeast, and they'll take you from the start to the finish and make sure it's done correctly. So call on Scout Program Management up in Birmingham, Alabama. We are so glad to be partnered with them.
In bunkers in downtown Auburn, 27 different sports on the golf simulator bays. So that's so much fun. If you want to go there, rent out the top section that they just finished not too long ago, you can do that. You can also just go rent out any of the golf simulator bays that you can go and hang out with up to 6-10 people, whatever you want to do. And then also they've got great food. So if you don't want to do the golf simulator bays, you don't have to, because you can just go in there and drink their happy hour deals, and then also just their great food. You can go in there and eat, have a great time. They're literally the best over there.
They are the best. Just received a big time award from the city of Auburn as one of the top places, top in new businesses. So if you have not been to Bunkers, fix that by going. All right, where do we start? Recap of yesterday, 7-on-7 count. We had a great time over there. We were probably there for 4 hours. Saw a lot of great games.
We were there for 4 hours.
4 hours, and they went on into the afternoon. And Mary Montgomery ended up winning the big school side. Team out of Mobile, very athletic. We were able to watch some of Pike Road. We were able to watch some of Auburn High School and Case and Myers. man, looks really, really good. He transferred from Pike Road, so they were all kind of right there together. So that was kind of weird. But Casey Myers is the real deal. I've been following him for a couple of years, and to be as young as he is, he's going to be really, really good for Auburn. Obviously, we saw Benjamin Russell and Sadarian Morgan and B.J. Bedgood and Kingston pre-year, and they look good offensively. There were a lot of teams getting torched on defense. There was a lot of firepower in the building by a lot of teams. Good quarterback play, good wide receiver play. So there were a lot of points scored. That's not uncommon in a 7-on-7 environment. But I talked to some coaches from different high schools, and you did too, Faith. And really, you want to win, but you also are evaluating and kind of seeing how you match up against, some one-on-one stuff and skill in the skill positions. And you're able to take that back and talk to your kids and work with them on things that they need to improve on before the season starts. That really is why you go to these camps.
Yeah, we were talking about it, while it was going on, just seeing how some teams were just getting beat in their secondary and how important it is to go ahead and fix that before the season starts, because some of these teams, if they don't have a defensive line that's going to be able to put pressure on some of these quarterbacks and some of these guys, they're just going to be completely smoked by the time the quarterback gets the ball out of their hands. And that's, like you said, that's the importance of these camps and, getting to learn your position and the guys who you surround yourself with. And I think a lot of the trust and everything and all that with your teammates just grows tremendously after camps like this and just how many camps they go to.
Yeah, one thing you can't do is run from you cannot run from getting exposed in these 7-on-7s. Like if you're not, man, if you're not covering your guy well, they're going to find you and they're going to burn you. And so
every single time,
right? And you can say it's getting picked on or whatever, but when you go into these camps and these high-profile receivers and quarterbacks, they're going to find the weakest link in the defense, and they're going to exploit it almost every time. So it's good learning. Hey, look, I saw every team out there with growing pains. I mean, I can go down the list, and you and I talked about it. Some really, really good teams there. Parker, that was a great matchup. Parker and Pike Road had a good matchup, and then Parker and Benjamin Russell in the first round of the the elimination round, they matched up. Parker won by a point. I mean, it was just a back and forth affair there. We saw some really good teams from Georgia, namely Carrollton. We watched that right out of the gate. Crazy play to start the whole tournament. First play in the Benjamin Russell Carrollton game was a home run pass to Sadarian Morgan, of course. And Sadarian made the catch on one-on-one coverage, and the official called offensive pass interference. It was kind of a Debbie Downer call for the whole building because, man, it was electric. The catch he made and on display, and the pass that Kingston Preer made was unbelievable. But the catch was even better. And so it kind of killed the momentum there, but Carrollton looked really, really good. They ended up winning that game by a couple of scores. And then, of course, we watched them play Auburn. They matched up well with Auburn High School, and we saw Casey Myers in a couple of those games. There was just talent everywhere, and saw a bunch of the Auburn coaches there. I know Ken Austin was there. We talked to Coach Davis quite a bit. He was kind of hanging around in the indoor facility, and saw Coach Bellatoni and some other guys there. But it's a good opportunity to get a lot of these high-profile high schools on your campus and let them be in your facility and kind of take all of that in.
Right. Who else was there?
Who? You?
Duh. But a lot more officials than
oh my God.
players, it seemed.
I thought we were at an officials convention instead of a 7-on-7 camp.
It was insane how many officials were there. And there were officials, basically officials officiating the officials. And
That's
they
right.
were judging them, scoring them, asking questions. It was the most bizarre thing ever, because when we walked in, it was a zebra petting zoo. I mean, they were everywhere. And I kid you not, I'm so serious, because
It did look like that.
we both looked at each other and said, oh my gosh. And then there was an official on both sides of, the sideline, but then also at both ends. So there's 6 officials for this one game.
On half of a field.
Right, on half of a field with 3. So technically that makes it 6 more. Nope. Yeah. 6 more, because there was someone watching each official.
Yeah, an evaluator.
Yes, yes. It was the most bizarre thing ever, and it was so crowded, but great job to Auburn for making everything not get confused, because there were so many teams and a lot of rotations and everything, and they did a great job, I think, by letting everyone, stay in place where they need to be at the right time. The rotation was really smooth.
It was smooth.
And
right.
There were no hiccups or anything. So good job to Auburn, because it could have been a wild day.
And there were teams everywhere. Intramural fields, outside the complex, but
intramural fields.
Just all over the place. But took a break, and then they came back and started the tournament, the single elimination tournament. And again, Mary Montgomery ended up winning the big school one. I don't know who won the smaller school one. Today, you'll have Buford, Georgia, Carver, Montgomery, Thompson, Phoenix City, Hoover, Prattville, Callaway, Georgia. You'll have North Paulding, Georgia. Several of these teams will bring an A and B squad. So you'll see Trent Seaborn. You'll see a lot of guys, a lot of teams that are just really, really talented, and a lot of state champions that will be there in the building. Again, we saw state champions yesterday with Parker and some of these other schools. So again, it's a great time. Good job, like you said, by Auburn. It's a fun thing. If you've never been to a 7-on-7, you can go watch. It's kind of open for you to go watch this. So it was a lot of fun for us, and we got to talk to some players and all. We'll catch some people up on some of the things that we heard from some of the coaches a little bit later on. Let's get to some more of our partners here on the program. Sure Shot.
Sure Shot, right up Highway 280, all of your firearm apparel and hunting needs. They sell and trade new and used firearms. It's always hunting season. There's always a time to get something hunting related. That also, oh my gosh, Father's Day is coming up. Hello.
Yes, I mean, come on.
Go in there before Father's Day. I should have been saying that earlier. And get something for your dad, for your husband.
Is this not the perfect place to go get a Father's Day present?
Right? So call on them at 256-329-0080. Kim, I think he's talking to you. Brenley, Braden.
Yep.
I think.
Hey, look, and if you are afraid to pick it out, get a gift card. Can't go wrong with a gift card.
If you have an idea, Scott can help, because Scott knows everything.
Scott will steer you in the right direction.
Oliver Ross, if you've got a party of 20 or a convention, a wedding, anything, all the way up to 20,000 people, Oliver Ross is going to be able to elevate your party by having certified and licensed bartenders that just take care of the whole bartending service side. So you don't have to worry about any of that. You can do the entertaining. They will take care of the bartending. And it's always nice to focus on what you want to focus on, not what you have a million things to do. So call on Oliver Ross.
Yeah, when you're the host, you got to take care of your guests.
Be the hostess with the mostest.
There you go. I was going to say it, but I knew you were going to say it. So
I mean, come on.
Let you say it. All right. Some midweek visitors. Just again, saw our good friends Jason Caldwell and Christian Clemente at the complex yesterday. They had a lot to talk about. We were kind of talking back and forth. Get a little update on some of the midweek guys that came in from Tuesday to Thursday. Probably one of Auburn's top targets overall is the 5-star, and he was probably the most high-profile guy other than Tristan Keys this week. 5-star Caden Prothero from Georgia. Just kind of looking at it and hearing some things that he was able to say to Jason and Christian, that the visit went really well, that Auburn is definitely at the top of his list. And, again, it's good to see. He's from a really good program in Bowden, Georgia. Rated, the number 3 tight end in the country. So I think he's the number 3 player in the state of Georgia as well. But again, looking at tight ends, when you look at Auburn's tight end room, Auburn definitely needs if not 2 really good tight ends to add in this class. And, a 5-star from the state of Georgia that's as close as Bowden, Georgia is. Auburn all over this kid, and rightfully so. And he's high on Auburn. I mean, he is. He said Auburn is right there at the top of his list, and big kid too. Maybe a little thin. This is what you and I were talking about, ironically, yesterday. Some of these kids are really tall and lanky, but maybe just not as big physically, weight-wise. But you're starting to see kind of a hybrid look to some of these tight ends, and he definitely fits that bill at 6'6", 210 pounds.
Yeah, I think after talking to some people yesterday, what Caden had to say about Auburn, just being able to spend time with the current players and the coaches, and kind of just know what Auburn is doing for them outside of football, and how they're contributing to their personal lives and academic lives, and how important that is for these kids coming in, but also for the coaches and players to tell them and say how much it's helped them in their own personal lives. And I love that Caden said that was something that really stood out to him. Just how the coaches have a plan for everybody.
Yeah, I think so. And I really do think Auburn is in great shape with Caden Prothero. Again, he's got like 39 offers, but, Georgia kid, but close to Auburn. Auburn, again, a lot of these things, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but it won't be the last time I say it, and we'll say it probably all the way till football season starts. A lot of hammers will fall once Auburn gets into the season and we start seeing how this season goes. And, he's probably –
I think it's going to be hard getting him away from home in Georgia. Just you see how many guys from Georgia go to Georgia, and how Georgia's just –
Well, I'm gonna say something, and this, I think this is pretty elementary, but it makes sense. If you're a kid looking at Auburn, Georgia, Alabama, Texas right now, let's just use those for example. It's an easier sell at their school right now, right? Why? Look at their records. Look at what they've done. Playoffs. How many times has Alabama been less than a 9-win team in the last 20 years? Hadn't happened. Look at Georgia. Look at what Texas is doing. The astonishing thing, I'll keep saying this, the astonishing thing is that Auburn continues to recruit at a high level, putting out 5 and 7 seasons. At some point in time, you got to turn the corner. And all of a sudden, you make it a lot less difficult on your coaches and yourself when you start winning games, and you can say, hey, look, you know what? We're in position to go to the playoffs every year too. So it's a harder sell. Kid may love your program. He may love your place, but he's sitting there going, I need an ROI. Don't we say that all the time? That's what businesses want when they invest. They want a rate. They want a return on their investment. And so a kid that loves Auburn, maybe loves the coaches, loves the environment, loves the school, all that stuff. The only thing that's a sour taste in their mouth right now is the record. Can Auburn win under this coaching staff? And that's all that's left, Faith. That's it. That's all that's left to prove to these kids. And if they can win this year, Auburn will be well on its way. They've got the funds. They've got everything in place. They got the facilities. They have the atmosphere on Saturdays. Auburn doesn't want for anything. You just have to get the results on the field.
Yeah.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Buckle your seatbelt. That's what you got to do.
And so, again, I love everything all these kids are saying. And they're all saying the right things. I mean, there's another kid, a cornerback that, again, that Auburn had offered last year in Devontae Anderson. If you go read Christian's article on 24/7, I'm not going to read it for people. I want people to go to subscribe to 24/7 because those guys bust their rear end, by the way, and work and grind to death, and they're some of the best. But, he's another kid from Florida that is high on Auburn. Heck, he's even probably got Auburn number one right now. And, I don't blame him because Wesley McGriff's the guy that recruits him. And Wesley McGriff's always been known as a great recruiter. Look at Marcus Davis with wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Auburn's wide receiver room so stacked? It's because of Marcus Davis. If you're ever around Marcus Davis, it doesn't take long to figure out why guys flock to him. And why is Auburn in on all these other top receivers? Why is Auburn right there with Cedarian Morgan? It's because of Marcus Davis. And so Wesley McGriff has a lot to do with that on the defensive side in the secondary. He's just always been a great recruiter. So, man, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it is really what it all boils down to. Auburn's – they get kids to campus, and they love it. Man, if Auburn started winning 9, 10, 11 games a year, what could this place be? I mean, what kind of an outstanding environment could – I mean, we've got outstanding environment when we're winning 5 and 6 games a year. Can you imagine if we're challenging to go to the playoffs every year, what it would be like?
Especially just this year having, we've got Georgia at night. We've got the possibility of having 4 night games, I think is what you said.
We did, yes.
That is just, we could have such a fun and exciting season that if we win and we keep winning and it's just.
We're also starved for it. I know everybody turns on again. They're talking about that again. But look, you can't be laying things out any better. The dang red carpet is laid out.
Right.
The schedule sets up pretty good. The times of the game set up really good. What else do you want?
You can't be given everything on a silver platter.
It's pretty dang close to that right now.
It 100% is. And so Auburn needs to do their part of going in and just winning it.
Amen. All right, guys coming in today. Devin Carter from Douglasville, Georgia. Wide receiver. Cedarius Tootle, Denarius Gray, all those are Auburn guys. All right, here's some other guys that are big-time guys that Auburn is definitely wanting. Wants all 3 of these guys. If anybody says they don't want these guys, they're lying to you. Cedarian Morgan. We are the Cedarian Morgan channel over here, it seems like. Nobody talks about him probably more than us. And, yes, he's going to commit on July the 2nd. Would you be surprised if he commits to Alabama? Not in the slightest. But we've had multiple conversations. If he commits to Auburn, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to win games. You're going to have to hold on to him. If he doesn't commit to Auburn, the recruiting process is not going to be over. He's going to continue that on throughout the fall. He's going to visit, I'm sure, maybe more than once to games at Auburn. The Iron Bowl's in Auburn, the Georgia game's in Auburn. A lot of these high-profile recruits are going to want to go to these games. So you're going to have numerous opportunities to continue to sell yourself. And it's not a hard sell to Cedarian for Auburn. It's just not. He likes Auburn. He loves Coach Davis. I mean, he tells me all the time, and he's told you. He sat down with you and talked about the relationship. So, but he also likes Alabama, and he also likes Florida. And I think Florida is more of a player in that thing than people actually realize. And so I do think when the dust settles, it'll be between Alabama and Auburn. I won't be surprised if he selects Alabama on July the 2nd, but it's a marathon. If Auburn has a really good season, they'll have a good chance in December, one way or the other. So that's my take on Sedarian. I think you feel the same way.
I feel the same way, but I feel the same way about everybody.
Right.
If we've talked about how many commits are about to do the first week of July, it doesn't matter if they go to Auburn or not this first week. If they commit, because you're not signing.
We're taking will be an interesting trip Monday to Jackson High School.
Oh, yeah.
And E.J. Crowell's in town today, the running back from Jackson. A lot of people feel like he's going to commit to Alabama next week or the week after, I think, maybe the 25th or 6th. I don't have it in front of me. But you're going to get to sit down with him and Landon Duckworth and a couple other guys. The big, tall receiver, Kean, I believe his name is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it in front of him. But now Landon Duckworth comes back out and says he's narrowed it down. Everybody thought Ole Miss and South Carolina, and now he said it's Auburn and South Carolina. He said there's down to 2 teams. So Auburn obviously still in the mix for Landon Duckworth. He had been committed to South Carolina, then decommitted and opened his recruiting back up. And now it feels like he's leaning back towards South Carolina, but who the heck knows? But you're going to get to sit down with him Monday. So we're going to find out a lot more. At least we feel like we will after Monday. And
I'll do my job of trying to hear what they're saying, how they say it.
Yep. How you read into it.
Yeah.
There's a psychological game to that, by the way, everybody.
I think it's a woman's intuition.
Could be that too.
Or I'm just smart. I don't know.
Flip a coin, right? One of the two. Or
I'm very
both.
good at flipping coins.
Flip the coin. A double-headed coin where you win all the time. That sounds like a coin a woman would have. Hey, let's flip a coin. I got heads, okay? Oh, it's heads. Does not sound like something that you would do.
I just can't flip
every
a
other
coin.
woman on earth.
That's my thing. I can't flip a coin.
If it's heads on both sides and you choose heads, it doesn't matter if you can flip it or not. You just throw it up in the air.
Well, I know that, but
I can't believe you can't flip a coin, especially with that long nail you've got there.
Reese always says, "No, we got to do it again because you did it wrong." If we're trying to choose where to eat, because it'll land on what I want, and then it lands on what I want again, so it doesn't even matter.
Like I said, the double-headed coin never fails. Never fails. All right, Braylon Womack from Mississippi, a 5-star safety. So, I mean, huge names on the list. And again, several guys that Auburn have committed, like Shadarius Tootle from Mobile. You know, I think there was a prediction a few weeks ago that he may flip to Georgia, but nothing's happened. I mean, nothing came out of that. So, will he make a decision in July to do that? Right now, Auburn's holding tight with him, and so he'll be in today and throughout the weekend. And he committed back in July of last year. Okay, so I mean, he's been on board for almost a year now, kind of like Hezekiah Harris, which will be heading up next week after next to see Hezekiah up in Huntsville. So if y'all don't know anywhere to go in the state, by the way, and who's covering this state, it's us. It's us. We can tell you about every little nook and cranny in the state.
Everything.
Been to most of them, I can tell you. All right, couple more partners here on the program, Faith, before we get ready to shut it down this morning. And again, we can't thank our partners enough. And Old Number One Customs.
Old Number One Customs. Brett is going to be a testimonial for them because they are going to come in and fully renovate his master bathroom. Super excited to see how that turns out. But whether it's a master bathroom, your kitchen, outdoors, whatever, if you have a
Outdoor
kitchen
living space. Yep.
yeah, outdoor living space. But if you've got a kitchen out there, if you've got anything, Old Number One Customs is going to go in there and give you the best price, but they're going to be in and out of your house in 2 weeks. So don't DIY it for 2 years. Get it done in 2 weeks with Old Number One Customs.
Hey, a little breaking news for you too. We're going to do a time-lapse video of the whole thing.
Oh, that is so fun.
So Jake and I talked about is going to put a GoPro up, and they're from the start demolition part to the finished product. Going to do a time-lapse fast-forward video. That'll be cool, won't it?
That's so exciting.
May even be able to show that on the show here when we get on.
Yes.
334-752-6162 if you want to get in line for a new kitchen, bathroom, outdoor living space, whatever it is that you want to remodel, they will do it for you.
If you want purified, filtered water, JFA Blue Plumbing will come and install a Home Atlas water filter duo for just $15.99. You can't put a price on health. And you just don't see how bad some of this minerals and bad hard water stuff is to your body until it actually affects you. And so you'd rather go ahead and get that Home Atlas water filter duo and get that water purified and filtered so that you can live a nice, long, healthy life. Call on them at 844-JFA Blue.
Love JFA Blue, no doubt about it. How about Jackson Coyven, man? In the U.S. Open, the number one amateur in the world is sitting in 33rd place with a bunch of really good golfers at 2 over. The leader is JJ Spawn at 4 under. So only 6 strokes off the lead for Jackson Coyven going into day 2. That
so
guy
awesome for
is
him.
Unbelievable, man. I'm just telling you, just ice water in his veins. I mean, 4 under, one guy at 3 under, then 4 guys at 2 under, and then it goes down from there. And a boatload at even, a boatload at 1 over, and then a boatload at 2 under. 2 over. So Jackson right in the mix, man. You know, if he could just – Oakmont is such a difficult course. The rough is ridiculous. And that's why you see the scores you're seeing. And you're going to – I think what I saw was yesterday was the best condition day that everybody was going to have. Doesn't mean somebody didn't come out and shoot a low number, but I don't think you're going to see these scores get – I don't think you're going to see a lot of red scores. If you're shooting in the reds, you're right there at the top for sure. So we're going to see what happens, but obviously we all have a dog in the fight with Jackson, hoping that he can continue to play well. That had to be nerve-wracking a little bit, played in the U.S. Open. He handled it well, obviously.
Yeah, I cannot imagine. He's, going to be a junior?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. He's so young.
Just ice water in his veins. You see why Auburn has been so good the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Him and Brendan and Josiah and Carson, and those guys are just phenomenal golfers. And I know Coach Kleiner and the team was a little disappointed to get knocked out in match play, but had a great season, nothing to hold their head down about, and just a really, really good season. So last thing we'll talk about here, basketball. Auburn found out yesterday who they will play in the ACC SEC Challenge. Auburn will welcome in NC State, and that's Will Wade back at NC State, former LSU coach. Then got axed because of all the NCAA stuff, and then he went to, was it McNeese State? He's been coaching at, I believe. I want to say that's where Will Wade was, but anyway, takes the NC State job, and then NC State, Faith, a few years ago made the Final Four. So. And he'll coach them up. NC State will come in. They'll have a really good team. Some other matchups there. Do you have it in front of you, some of the other matchups?
Yes, I do. Some of the other matchups are going to be – we were just talking about this before we hopped on. Duke's got it at home again this year against Florida.
How do they get a home game every year?
I don't know.
I mean, talk about bias. I mean, North Carolina even had to travel. They got to go to Kentucky, which that'll be a fun matchup. They missed a golden opportunity, by the way, to send Virginia to Auburn. How hostile of an environment would that have been?
Right.
They're sending Virginia to Texas. Can we swap and let NC State go to Texas and let Virginia come to Auburn? I mean, you talk about, the Iron Bowl is rough. We know Auburn and Alabama in anything's rough, but I'm telling you, the double dribble signs and the crap that would be out for that game. Oh my God.
Yeah, y'all were literally talking about that today.
I mean, send Virginia down here, please. I bet they would have refused.
Probably.
No, I ain't going down there, man.
You got Clemson at Bama, which
there you go. Clemson, as we call it sometimes.
This seems like it would be a fun one. Miami at Ole Miss.
Miami at Ole Miss should be really good.
I
forget SMU is in the ACC. How screwed up are these conferences, by the way, now? I mean, I look down and I'm like, is that an error? And I'm like, no, they played Clemson in the ACC championship in football last year. I'm like, I'm still getting used to the realignment of these conferences and thinking that Oregon is in the Big Ten. And I mean, it's just a screwed up bunch of the conference alignments are a microcosm of the whole world. It's just a bunch of nothing. It's just a bunch of screwball crap. But that's anyway, Notre Dame, Syracuse. I mean, what else stands out? What are some of the top matchups are at the top? Obviously, Florida at Duke's going to be crazy. Florida's the defending national champs. Duke was in the Final Four. Auburn and NC State will be a crazy game. Clemson at Bama will be crazy. The Louisville at Arkansas game should be pretty dang good. To be honest with you,
Wake Forest,
Tennessee at Syracuse. Okay, I mean, whatever. I'm not really fired up.
Notre Dame, Georgia at FSU.
Yep. I mean, the rest of them don't really stand out to me. I mean, there's the top 3 or 4 matchups going to be pretty good. Then you move down, and I mean, does anybody really care about SMU at Vanderbilt? Ugh. That's a game. That's a game.
Mississippi State at Georgia Tech.
That's a game only a mother could love, right?
It's just going to be the moms.
The moms of those players are the only ones that are going to give a crap about that. So, all right, a lot of stuff that we covered there, Faith, and we will be heading to Birmingham, by the way, today. The Alabama State Games, part of our HSA network partnership, opening ceremonies, and they'll have 72 straight hours of games going on this weekend. So a lot of awesome stuff going on in Birmingham.
Exciting.
It is going to be exciting.
It's like the Olympics.
It's exactly like the Olympics.
So I'm excited.
In Legacy Arena. So we'll be doing our show from Legacy Arena at noon today. So tune us in at noon.
Yeah, I forgot.
On location. So
exciting.
Yep. Go subscribe if you have not subscribed. We appreciate it so much. All of you out there, we really do continue to spread the word. We hope everybody has
the best day ever.